There's something about the countryside that just feels right, and suddenly all the things that keep you spinning day to day just don't feel as important. This weekend, I got to escape to this little pocket of peace with some of my closest friends and family, and it was exactly what I didn't know I needed: a chance to rest, recharge, and reconnect, not just with them, but with myself too. This trip was long overdue. Everyone's lives are busy now, and everyone has different priorities. So, something like this that was planned at the last minute was such a nice surprise. You know, you're in good company when all your friends try to make things like this happen, and everything just worked out. We finally got to go out on a trip. We came in earlier, so we had time to take everything in: the peaceful quiet, nature, the gray, cozy weather, and the fresh air only the countryside provides. This weekend was all about disconnecting from the noise, yet deeply connecting with friends. I have a quick story to tell. I love the countryside, but I think I still like all the things the city can provide. Our friend's car got stuck in the mud again, and that's a story for another day, but they were originally planning on a day trip. But because of that situation, they ended up staying the night. The afternoon turned into a big problem solving mission for the guys. There was pulling, towing, and everything in between as they tried to fix the situation. It was raining, so there wasn't really a lot they could do once it got stuck. I was tempted to vlog the whole situation, but with the weather, I knew I'd be caked in mud too, so the girls and the kids stayed cozy in the main house. Around 6 p.m., the power went out, and with it, the water. I thought it would come back in less than an hour, but it didn't. The water was powered by a pump, so the only way we could get more was by heading down the hill. With the kids, the rain, it was kind of a difficult time. So we were all hoping for the electricity to just come back. The toilets, they stopped flushing, and no one had really planned for this, but surprisingly, we were all calm about it. It was dark, and the only lights we had were the garden lights that were solar powered. So I think that's a good sign, investing in solar powered lights. And it really saved us. We were having dinner in garden lights. Anyway, it was one of those moments that make you really appreciate how much we take modern conveniences for granted, especially when they're suddenly gone. Eventually, when the guys finally came back, they were completely covered in mud, and they had to hike down back the hill to clean up. The car was still stuck, but the mood was light. No one got upset, blamed anyone, or felt that the unexpected events ruined the trip. Everyone just went with the flow, and it turned out to be one of those moments that made the weekend even more memorable. This weekend wasn't about doing a lot. In fact, it was about doing almost nothing at all. Just slowing down, letting the kids roam, letting ourselves be. It's funny when you strip away all the busyness, the need to be on time. You remember how much joy can come from the simple things. Just sitting around a table, catching up, listening to our kids laugh. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be perfect. A lot of us have kids now, and our friends in our friend group are the godparents of our kids too. Our friendship looks a bit different now. I think it's evolved, and it's louder, it's messier, but there's something so beautiful in that. I used to think that we always needed a big moment to keep our connections alive, but it's really these little ones that remind me how strong our bond still is. Sometimes it's chaos, but that's life, right? There's a kind of magic in friendships that have seen you in different seasons, from carefree students with endless time to busy parents with way too little of it. We've kind of grown up together. And the best part is watching our kids grow up together too. It's kind of shocking seeing them playing where we once just sat talking about our future like it was so far away. We've been through weddings, baptisms, and children's parties together. Though we may not see each other as often as we'd like to, I think there's something so grounding about reconnecting with people you've seen at different stages in life. It's like no matter how much changes, these friendships are still the thing that kind of stays the same, even if everything else feels different. We're older, yes, maybe a little more tired, but in the best way. And moments like these, where we can just slow down and just be, remind me that this connection, this community we've built, is what matters most. I think sometimes we spend so much time trying to keep up, trying to balance it all, that we forget the importance of these little pauses. A weekend like this, where we can reset, recharge, and really be present. It's rare nowadays because everyone's so busy, but it's so necessary. And it doesn't have to be some grand getaway, something planned far ahead of time, because oftentimes that doesn't really come into fruition. I think it's more about the people you're with, the conversations, the laughter, and even the mess. Because that's real life, isn't it? It's imperfect, a little chaotic, but so beautiful in its own way. Sometimes I think that we all need a little reminder that it's okay for things to be imperfect. That in those messy, unplanned moments, like the car getting stuck, is where the joy really truly happens and where memories are built. We don't have to have it all together. We just need to be present and make time for our loved ones. With our kids, with our friends, and with ourselves. So if you're feeling like you need a little reset, maybe it's time for a little escape. Even if it's just for a day, a chance to slow down, reconnect, and remind yourself that sometimes the best moments aren't the big planned ones. They're the imperfect in-between ones.